Bismillah. In this video, we will revise all the rules for the coordinate geometry. If you have 2 points, A and B on a grid, we have the first, we can find the distance between them. Distance between them, AB equal square root x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. This to find distance between them. You can find the midpoint between A and B. The midpoint with this formula, x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. You can find also the gradient of the line passing through them. The gradient of the line passing through A and B equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. For example, if we have A 1 and 1, B 3 and 5, we can find distance between them. AB square root 3 minus 1 plus 3 minus 1 squared plus 5 minus 1 squared. Then 3 minus 1, 4, 2 squared 4, so square root 4. 5 minus 1, 4 square 16, so square root 20. Then we can use calculator to find decimal value for root 20. We can find the midpoint between A and B. Midpoint will be 1x plus x, 1 plus 3 over 2, and y plus y over 2, so 1 plus 5 over 2. So the midpoint will be 4 over 2, which is 2, 1 plus 5, 6 over 2, which is 3. So the midpoint 2 and 3. We can find the gradient of the line passing through them. So the gradient of the line passing through them, y2 minus y1. We can start from any point, but for the same y and x. So if we start from B, so 5 minus 1 over 3 minus 1. 5 minus 1, 4. 4 over 2 will be 2. So the gradient of the line passing through them, 2. You should know that if you have parallel lines, you have parallel lines L1 and L2, then they have the same gradient. So M1 equal M2. For example, if the gradient of the first line 2 over 5, so the gradient of the second line 2 over 5. If you have perpendicular lines L1 and L2, so what is the relation between the gradient M1 times M2? The product of the gradient equal -1. So if you need M2, so -1 divide M1, -1 divide M1, -1 divide the given, give you the required to find. So for example, if M1 equal 2 over 5, so M2 -1 over 2 over 5 will be -5 over 2. Or you can find negative reciprocal for this fraction. So flip the fraction first, then it changes the sign. So 2 over 5 flip, you get 5 over 2, then you change the sign, so you need -5 over 2. This direct way to find the gradient of the perpendicular to a given line. Next, the equation for the straight line, y equal mx plus c. M stands for the gradient, c for y-intercept or the intersection with y-axis. So for example, if y equals 3x plus 5, this means the gradient 3 and the intersection with y-axis 0, 5. But if we have the equation 2x plus 3y equals 7, can we find the gradient for this line and y-intercept? So both y is subject first, so 3y equal -2x plus 7 divided by 3, so y equal -2 over 3x plus 7 over 3. Now the gradient -2 over 3 and y-intercept 7 over 3. And also you should know how to find the intersection with x-axis and with y-axis. For example, if we have y equals 3x minus 3, how to find the intersection with x-axis and how to find the point of intersection with y-axis. Any point belong x-axis, y equals 0. So put y equals 0 in the equation. Now you have 0 equal to x minus 3. So 3 equal to x divided by 2. So x equal 3 over 2. So the point of intersection with x-axis 3 over 2 and 0. In a similar way, to find intersection with y-axis, you can find directly because the y-intercept negative 3, because the y-intercept negative 3, so you can deduce directly that the point 0, negative 3. And if you put x equals 0, you get the same, because any point belonging to y-axis, x equals 0. So if you put x equals 0, you get y equal negative 3, so the point the same, 0, negative 3. The last point you should know that the perpendicular bisector for line segment AB, perpendicular bisector for line segment AB, perpendicular to AB and bisect AB, so passes through the midpoint between AB. So to find the equation for the perpendicular bisector for AB, you should find the gradient of AB, then deduce the gradient of the perpendicular, then find the midpoint between A and B. Find the midpoint between A and B, then substitute by the equation to find the equation of the perpendicular bisector. So perpendicular bisector passes through the midpoint and its gradient. Now let we practice on these rules. Number 1, a straight line passes through 2 points, 6, 8, 0, 5. Work out the equation for the line. The equation for the line y equal mx plus c. So we need to find m and c. How to find m? You have 2 points, so y2 minus y1. So we can start with 5 minus 8 y minus y over x minus x, 0 minus 6. 5 minus 8 equal negative 3. 0 minus 6 equal negative 6. So equal half. Now the equation for the line y equal half x plus c. This line passing through the point 0, 5. If x equals 0, this means y equals c. So y equal half x plus 5. But if x not equal 0, just substitute both. For example, if we take 6 and 8, if we use this point 6 and 8, both x equal 6 and both y equal 8, you get c equal 5. You can choose any point to find c. Number 2, find the equation of the line that is perpendicular to the line y equals 3x minus 1 and pass through the point 7 and 4. Line is perpendicular to y equals 3x minus 1. The equation, the gradient for this line, y, the coefficient of x, which is 3. So the gradient for this line is 3. So m for this line equals 3. If our line is perpendicular to this line, so the gradient for the perpendicular will be negative 1 over 3. Now the equation for the line y equal negative 1 over 3x plus c. This line passing through the point 7 and 4. So both x equal 7 and both y equal 4 to find c. So 4 equal negative 1 over 3 times 7 plus c. So c equals 4 plus 7 over 3. So c equal 12 over 3 plus 7 over 3, which is 19 over 3. Now the equation will be y negative 1 over 3x plus 19 over 3. Next one, A is a point 4 and 1, B 10 15. Find the equation of the perpendicular bisector for the line AB. Perpendicular bisector for the line AB. Perpendicular bisector means perpendicular to AB. So if we have AB, I need to find the equation for the line which is perpendicular, and bisector means pass through the midpoint. So I need equation for this line. So find the gradient of AB first. y2 minus y1, 15 minus 1 over 10 minus 4. So 14 over 6 can be simplified. So 7 over 3. Now the gradient for the perpendicular, negative reciprocal. So negative 3 over 7. So the equation for the line y equal negative 3 over 7 x plus c. How to find c? This line passing through the midpoint between A and B. So you should find midpoint. Midpoint of A and B, 4 plus 10 over 2, 1 plus 15 over 2, which is 7 and 8. Use this point, substitute by this point in the equation to find c. So 8 equal negative 3 over 7 times 7 plus c. 7 cancelled. So 8 equals negative 3 plus c. So c equal 11. So the equation for the line now, y equal negative 3 over 7x plus 11.